Hello, gentle viewers. This is Alf Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 23 as the Pittsburgh Pirates. We have a very grumpy owner right now, but I think we'll end up okay. Maybe. In our last episode, we went through free agency. We finally acquired our elite level pitching prospect in Juan Love. We're letting Mr. Lowe start the season in AAA, but I've got a feeling that he's going to be there for a very short time, assuming he can come anywhere near his efforts in 2061. Now, something that somebody mentioned was he was the 35th overall pick out of the draft. And that is an absolutely true statement. However, I'd like to note for the record, he was a middling prospect when he was first drafted. That he has become an amazing player is a real tribute to the power of the White Sox and their development system. So that is why I don't feel too upset about that. We also re-signed Sean Hill to a fairly large contract. This is one of those times I kind of wish I hadn't recorded early, because I think some people had some very salient points about the ability to replace a first baseman, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. We have new everyday right fielder Rogelio Aguinaga after moving Jordan Munoz to designated hitter. We have new shortstop Freddie Suarez, who we're hoping will be at least as good offensively as the old guy, who I've already forgotten his name. That's terrible, but here we are. We have Mike Soto taking over as our full-time third baseman and seeing if he can give us anything like the offensive capabilities he's already shown us in brief amounts of playing time. I think he truly could be the long-term answer at third base. Our pitching staff has been a bit of a patchwork. We brought back old friend Victor Rios, and we're giving him a shot in the rotation. Most importantly, we've got him locked up for 3 more years, which means even if he isn't a great starter, I've got him as a reliever. So I'm pretty happy about that. And my opinion about Rios changed, both once I saw him pitch quite well in a full-time role, and in addition, the very simple fact that he has the exact same problems as Mike Grasham, but better, because Grasham only has 2 real pitches and a really crappy third one, whereas Rios has 2 great pitches, a mediocre pitch, and then a 4th pitch that's basically a variation on the original theme. So we're going to give him a shot to show what he can do as a starter. And hopefully give Juan Love some much-needed reps in the minors before we call him up. The bullpen is a mess. We suffered 2 serious injuries, arguably 3, before the season even started. And so we are left very badly lacking in depth. I'm only carrying 11 pitchers right now. I had intended to claim somebody. I just can't remember whether I did or not. So let's check the waiver wire. Yes, we have claimed Mr. Tony Nuno with the idea of making him our 3rd reliever. An additional reliever, I should say. Now, the good news is that all of these pitchers will be back at some point, which will definitely add some power to the pen. But I do think here that in the very not-too-distant future, we're going to need to start making some changes to get the kind of bullpen that we're going to need. If we're going to be truly successful, we need a great bullpen, and I'm hoping that we'll be successful in that. Things to do this season, other than obviously win the World Series. That's always our goal. Is try to find out if Aguinaga is going to be able to last as a right fielder. Find a role for John Navio. Again, Navio right now is a reserve on this team. I don't have a bigger role for him yet, but he is going to be our DH, or our right fielder, excuse me, against left-handed pitching, because we're going to continue to sit Sean Hill, which again, I know is like, but you're paying him $30 million a year. I get it. He's just not as good a hitter. He just isn't. And if we want him to be the best version of himself, I don't want him playing every day if we can avoid it. But if Navio can perform at a relatively high level, that's going to give us one more shot in the arm. But we need to find out what we've got in him. The time to just keep keeping him in the minors over and over again is over. He's going to be in the Major League roster unless he gets hurt the entire season, and we'll just have to figure out what role he has to play. I do not remember the name of our previous shortstop, which is terrible, I know, but I genuinely have just erased him from my memory banks. Huamani. He was our shortstop for 4 seasons. But we traded him to Cleveland, so. Somebody pointed out we should probably trade Sal Becerra. I just wanted to point out that we already have. He was part of the deal that got us, what's-his-face? Mr. Love here. Yep, Becerra and Easton. So, without any further ado, I think we go ahead and start playing some baseball games and see how this is all going to work out. My owner is going to be kind of annoyed with me because I didn't keep Joe Camp. But I'm hoping that the rest of this will help him feel better about it. Are there any free agents coming up? There's a couple. The only one I might consider bringing back is Mike Tinch. I need to see how he comes back after this injury, though. He's already 36. And although he has been lights out for us for the past several seasons, I don't want to pay him at this point. Manny Pozo, I love having him back for one final season, but he's already not playing very much. I don't think it makes sense to bring him back at any price. But you know what? If he'll take like a fairly small contract, I could maybe see it. But I'm leaning no at the moment. Can I actually... Okay, I cannot offer him a contract. That's funny. I was like, can I like saddle them with like a giant contract to be a dick? I cannot. Joe is an interesting question at this point. He is what he is at this point. He's a fairly competent catcher, rarely excels, but rarely does horribly. Last season was his worst season with us as a Pirate. Now, of course, the million-dollar question is, if we don't keep Joe, who is our starting catcher? Is it Servine? I would argue no. Servine is basically Joe, but with a better arm. And while there's nothing wrong with that, I don't see him either as being an everyday starting catcher. Maybe he is, though. Maybe he is. A lot of our catching depth is gone now. We have some catchers in the low minors, but none in the high minors that I trust. A guy like an Arturo Watson would be like a perfectly cromulent catcher for a season, but I'd probably give the job to Servine instead. What does Joe want? He only wants a 1-year deal. I'm happy to let him keep his 1-year deals for now, until we can sort out this mess and determine who our catcher of the future might be. Alex De La Nunez was an interesting piece that we acquired. I don't know where he ends up, but I do think he could be at least a reasonably acceptable second baseman. But I'm really looking to see if he can flesh out his offensive skill set a bit more once he recovers from his injury. I don't really need Esteban Stoval and Jesus Lopez. Stoval's the kind of player that I should probably have given a proper opportunity to instead of just going too far the other way. I tend to like contact hitters with the Pirates. You've all seen this. It's my MO. Or guys that can get on base. And he can't really do either one of them. That said, I do think he could offer something to some team somewhere. And if we could get a good piece for him, I'd probably trade him. I think I underestimate how valuable just raw power can be. And I know he did have the one chance to show that he could be a quality player. I just never really let him do it beyond that one trial. Now, he is an injury away, though. He's an injury away from getting a reasonably large role on this team. Exactly how big, I'm not sure yet, but a reasonably large role. Jesus Lopez is a pretty finished product, too. But Lopez, in my estimation, has sort of leapfrogged Stoval because he is more well-rounded, he's very fast, and he's a pretty solid defensive corner outfielder. All that means he's probably got a clear path to the majors than Stoval does right now. Hugo Arevalo seems like a perfect utility guy. And he was one of the hardest decisions for you to make this offseason as far as who do we exclude from the roster. I do believe in him quite a lot. And there's almost a 100% chance that he's going to hit the roster at some point in the near future. He's just not there yet. Julian Williams is an interesting guy. I don't know whether he's ever going to work out, though. Like, he's a really, really competent outfielder. But he's trying to be a two-way player, and I'm not convinced that's the best thing for him. But I do think he's much more valuable if we do have him also pitching. If he can get this to work out, he's just going to be a more useful player to us, period. So we'll see what happens there. Alright, friends, let's sim just a week to see if we got our waiver claim. We did. Let's instantly place him on the 40-man and allow him to be a middle reliever. And let's play some baseball games. Really? Oh, probably somebody I DFA'd in spring training. Yeah, there's Celaya. Cool. Just watching the box score numbers, seems like our offense is off to a pretty solid start. Which is good news. Now remember, take any actual stats with a grain of salt this early in the season. I'm probably just going to go ahead and do as I normally do and just skip through the month of May too before I start evaluating how we're actually doing as a team. Any big changes here? Manny Osorio's getting better, as is Justin Tufts. some good stuff here. Victor Almohuer is getting better. Freddy Suarez is getting better. Franklin Verdun. I'm always going to call him Verdun. I can't call him anything else. In fact, oh, he's already got a nickname. Okay, I'm not going to change his nickname then. Mike Brinken wants to come back. I just don't think he's worth it. I don't. Like, I'd rather let Avisham get some starting reps, or let Juan Love have a spot or something. Like, Brinkman only came back to this team because I thought he could help us a little bit. But he's never been great for us. He's been good, but hardly great. So even if Brinkman is like, I'll do it for $2 million, I don't think I'd want him back. I don't think that's a good investment. Why is Carl Verrocchio shortlisted? Is he somebody I used to have? Interesting. I wonder if Mr. Verrocchio here was just one of those players that I shortlisted in case. Or maybe when I was really trying to make sure that I got a good draft pick. Maybe. But I don't need to see that shit anymore. Let's continue on for one more month, and then we can take stock of the team and get a better sense of who actually is performing well and who isn't performing so well. Alright, so Tony Osorio is ready to come back. I don't see an obvious role for him right now. Let's get him rehabbing, and then we can make a determination a bit farther into the season. $15-12. Oof. That's a fucking Colorado score if we've ever seen one. Another 4 days is fine. I don't mind that. Amaya. Oh, Alex Amaya, okay. Damn, Henry Salgado has 300 homers? I had no idea that he had even performed that well for that long. Damn. I still think he's got a very, very long way to go before he'll be Hall of Fame worthy. But it's possible. It is imminently possible. He does have an MVP, which certainly doesn't hurt, as these things go. Okay, we could have Mike Tinch back. Who is the most expendable on this roster at reliever? It's an interesting problem, actually. Everyone's pitching at a very high level. Like, Fuji is probably the most obvious person to send down, especially because he has so little time in the minors. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send him down. Tinch gets activated and instantly becomes the closer again. I think Julian has done okay work, but we need our big man to close out games for us. I just trust him more at this point. And then Mr. Julian, I'm going to make you into the setup guy. Is there a player I'm more underestimate on this team than Victor Almaguer? Like, really? Every season, I'm constantly surprised that he's such a good player. And I don't know why I keep acting surprised, because I shouldn't be. He truly is an exceptional player. But for whatever reason, like, every season, I'm like, wow, he's that good? I need to start adjusting my expectations, my friends. And of course, One Love gets even better. David Gomez is not remotely ready for the big leagues, but he's becoming interesting. And that's a very helpful skill to have. Orlando Salgado. There's still something to be said that for him to be a quality player, but he is quite far away from that. Michael Broadwater, on the other hand, is putting heat on his fastball that's only going to make him a better player. So, Salgado did have a cold month of the season. He's heating up a bit. Let's talk Turkey. Who is meeting expectations and who is falling short? Franklin Verdeen steals a bunch of bases, hits for a decent average, and adds plenty of doubles. I don't love him as a leadoff guy, but I also don't know who would be a better leadoff guy, unless it's Mike Soto. Now, so far, Mike Soto has been fairly productive. He's got a good average, a nice on-base percentage, and a reasonably good amount of pop. He is playing third base with some level of skill. So overall, I'm happy, yet also feel slightly disappointed, and I can't put my finger on why. I don't know what more I expected from him, maybe a touch more power, but this is fine. Henry Salgado's off to a colder start than normal for him. But he surely will turn it around in the near future. Sean Hill is a bit more concerning, especially since he just got that great big contract. Again, it's not the end of the world, but I think immediately Jordan Munoz becomes the cleanup guy. Against righties, because he's just been better than Hill. Jordan Munoz has been almost single-handedly holding this team together. Clearly he doesn't mind being a DH. So, happy to see it. Glad that he's there. Aguinaga is fine. I don't think he's the answer. I'm going to look at Navio stats here in a minute, but Aguinaga has lost a bit of pop from last season, and if he's not hitting for power, I think he's a much rougher player to give at-bats to. Victor Almoguer, I don't know what to say, man. I don't. I don't see how he's hitting almost 370, but I'm gonna take it. Um, he has just been a really good second baseman almost from the word go. And I feel like as a GM, I don't rate second base as highly as I should. But he is genuinely one of the best players on the team. And that I keep overlooking that is my problem, not his. Um, like, I'm not going to start printing Hall of Fame merchandise for him, but he's been an incredibly valuable regular. And if he's a valuable regular for a long enough time, that is how you get that's how you get Hall of Famers. That's what Manny Pozo was, basically. He was a very good regular for a very long time. Joe is fine. He's putting up a characteristically Joe season. A bit more pop than last season, which is always good to see. But a very, very strong season. Freddie Suarez putting in yeoman's work. Already proving to be equally the superior to Alex Huamane. And also playing a pretty shortstop at a fairly high level. Nobody in the lineup is an obvious candidate for replacement other than Aguinaga. So let's talk about John Navio. John Navio has unquestionably been a better hitter than Aguinaga, and equally unquestionably has had very little time to prove that. He's not as good defensively as Aguinaga. So if I am going to properly favor defense, then Aguinaga should stay in the lineup. And there is reason to believe that there might be more here, right? Like, it's not totally out of the realm of expectations that he starts hitting better. And he's only had about 150 at-bats. I guess I can't really come down too hard on him yet. I think I need a month to figure out what's going on there. Let's talk pitching staff. Mifflin is having a really solid year. He's just one of those pitchers that tend to suppress batting averages. Some of them exist. This is not going to last. He's not going to get a 226 BABIP for the whole season. And his peripheral numbers are deeply concerning to me. He doesn't have a great strikeout rate. His walks are up, and his home runs are only slightly down. This will eventually bite him in the ass if he doesn't pick it up in the second half. Calderon is fine. He is acceptable. Again, his numbers aren't amazing, but they never have been, really. So, yeah. Gresham is bouncing back a bit. He definitely had a rough 2061. It looks like he's bouncing back. Victor Rios has been the starter that we were hoping for. And then it just kind of goes south from there. No starter is really playing at a high level right now. They're all playing fine, but I feel like we need a spark. In particular, let's talk Mayank Brinkman. Now, Brinkman's walk rate has spiked. That's a big problem. His stuff is already fairly borderline. If he's not throwing strikes regularly, he becomes a far less useful pitcher. He's only a year removed from being a fairly productive starter, but for whatever reason this year, he's just not getting it done. And his scouting profile says he's losing velocity. Whereas Juan Love is dominating in AAA, albeit without a huge amount of experience there. I like what I see so far. I think one of the short-term choices we could make is letting Avi Shan take over someone else's rotation spot. Probably Brinkman. Because while on the surface, Brinkman should be a better pitcher, he's also averaging very few innings a start. You know what? I'm gonna make the move. I'm gonna push Abishan into the rotation, and we're gonna let Brinkman go to the pen. Manny Osorio's stuff is way too good to be pitching as poorly as he has been. I'm hopeful that he will really start giving us that extra weapon out of the pen that I'm hoping for. Yeah, Brinkman's rating suggests he should still be an effective pitcher, but his actual performance is very disconcerting. A drastic drop off in strikeout rate, a dip in velocity. He's only going to get worse. We are not bringing him back for any sum of money. Abishan, you're up. I need you to actually show that you can handle this job. So, pitch good, my young friend. Let's go ahead and advance to July. Well, that was opportunistic. I'm going to activate Osorio because I do think he is useful. And we're going to make Colorado the emergency starter if we need one. 3 lefties in the pen does seem excessive, but I think it could be very helpful for us. And in case you're wondering, I deliberately put Brinkman on the 60-day deal because I don't want him back. Awesome. Hmm. 19-3, my word. Okay. Oh my god, Verdine, he's a fucking veteran. Just silence thyself. 5 more hits for Almaware. He is down to a 326 average, but he's still very useful. Tufts is getting a tiny bit worse. Nuno is losing velocity, so his time in the pen might be short. John Navio's power has shot up. And Juan Love is getting really good too, but Navio is the one who's really grabbing my attention right now. Because here's the thing, Aguinaga isn't making that leap. He's actually regressing. And it's not that he's playing poorly, it's that I'm not getting enough from him. Especially when I have a power hitter of this caliber just lurking on the bench right now. Who doesn't have an obvious hole in his game either. I think I've got to start... I've got to start Navio. Like, at this point, keeping Aguinaga in the lineup is making the lineup worse. So yes, Navio, you're taking over right. And I'm going to have you make me some new depth charts, and then I will make adjustments as needed. Don't be fucking stupid, game. Don't be absurd. Also, Manny Toro doesn't need regular playing time. Don't be stupid about that either. And if starter tired. Yeah, I don't know why you think Manny Pozo needs to be playing every other day, but he really doesn't. Like, quite genuinely, he does not. Seventh game, and if starter tired. Like, I know Munoz isn't amazing with left-handed pitching. He's still better than Pozo, though. I'm glad Pozo was happy, because he ain't going to get any more playing time than he's getting right now. Alright, so that's one big change you're going to make here in July. Awashon has made 5 starts so far, and I like what I see. So far. We're going to let him keep working on it. Sean Hill is still badly lagging for where we need him to be. I need a new leadoff guy. I can't keep Verdine up here just because he doesn't get on base enough. I could promote Almaquer. I keep saying how he needs a bigger role. Or let Sean Hill do it. But I like having his pop a little bit lower in the lineup where he can be a little bit more useful to us. We're going to try leading off Almaquer. No, I like Verdine's speed, though. And he is being a very valuable player. He's just not being valuable to the same degree. His triples are way down. Interesting. No, I need to pay attention to what the numbers are telling me, and they're telling me that Almaquer needs to be the leadoff guy for a while, and just see how that works out for us. Because Verdine's got crazy speed, and he's a good player, but he doesn't get on base enough. Like, he's right now a slightly below average offensive producer, and that's at what I need the top of this lineup. He's probably costing us runs by batting first overall, whereas Almaquer at least has some idea of how to draw walks and is a bit more complete as a power hitter. He can easily get hit for a decent average, but also hit for a bit of power. So we'll see what happens as the season progresses. That may be another area we can make an upgrade at. Sean Hill worries me, though. Now, he's traditionally been kind of a slow starter, so maybe he'll pick it up in the second half. but it's really making me regret giving him that giant contract. At least he doesn't have a no trade clause, so I could get rid of him if I had to. Let's check out the international amateurs. I like Alex DeLeon a lot. He's a pretty good third baseman, tremendous bat potential, and he's also really smart and really adaptable. If Mr. DeLeon will sign, I will happily bring him aboard. Let's see if he'll go for that. A guy like Dave Rodriguez is also worth pursuing. So he might be, if I can't end up getting him, that might be what I do. Juan Camacho is just not that impressive. Like, he's fine, I guess, but I'm not going to give him the satisfaction. I'll put him on the 40-man and just send him right to AAA, because I know he doesn't have any options left. And DeLeon signed the contract. Excellent. He is ecstatic. Alright, let's find out, let's make some decisions about our personnel, shall we? Staff cohesion is good. It could be better, but right now it's fine. We probably need to make some changes, though, to really unlock the full potential of this team. Here, Christian James can teach base running. So first things first, do we want to keep Josh Williams? The answer to that question, I think, is yes. He's a wonderful scout, and he's going to help us find those diamonds in the rough that we're going to need because we're not really going to have good draft picks all that often. Easy choice to bring him back. Giancarlo Soto is a very competent third base coach, but he is temperamental, and that's becoming an issue. I think Soto is going to be the one that we let go, and I think we find a good replacement for him. Because DeCosta is just better. Flat out, he's just better. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give DeCosta an extension. Okay, let's offer minor league extensions. 3 people don't want extensions yet. Im is a very solid pitching coach. I don't want to lose him. So we'll offer him a contract extension. Solomon McGuire, I still believe in somewhat, even if I don't think he's anywhere near ready for a major league coaching job. I do think he's offered a lot of value, and I do want to keep him around for one of the higher jobs. Up in the minors. I don't think he'll ever be a good coach in the majors. Joe Connolly sucks. I'm happy to let him walk. Okay, feels good. Let's go up to the draft. All right. Oh, this is a nice change. We get to see how draft picks move around because of comp rounds. That's very cool. I like that a lot. I'm not going to waste our time looking at the possibilities. Let's see who's around when we draft. Okay. No, you're not really a shortstop. I'm just quickly scanning to see if there are those college starters you all seem to like so much. Khalil Roberts is a college starter. He doesn't seem like a bad sort. And I guess my big issue is I need to start learning how to bet on upside or bet on floor rather than ceiling. That's not what I want. I can't create a filter based on that? That seems silly. I definitely can't. And that doesn't help at all, okay. I feel pretty strongly that Jose Contreras is going to be an incredible reliever. And he's going to have a very short path to the majors. He's not a starter. He only has 2 pitches, not even the semblance of a third pitch. But let's look a little bit deeper. So anyone I take that's got, like, say, 2080 is going to be a risk. They're going to be a risk, and there's no getting around that. Josh Davison is fine. Okay, Jose Flores is the highest rated college pitcher. He pitched University of Louisville. That's a good pitcher. That's a good school. He's got a nice fastball sinker cutter with a changeup that's coming along nicely. Good control of movement, not great stuff. But his path to the majors should be relatively quick. Interesting. He's also 22, which means I could sign him and send him immediately to high A. His stamina isn't great, though. That does concern me. He's got good adaptability, but not great work ethic. That's another red flag for me. I think I'm going to pass on Flores. Christian Higginbottom. Good mix of pitches. But he seems pretty raw for a college pitcher. Oh, he only has 1 year in college. Must be a JUCO transfer. That doesn't really do much for me. There's a lot to like about Khalil Roberts. Big guy, which means there could be more heat in his fastball. A decent amount of stop movement and control. Good fastball sinker curveball mix. a potentially elite changeup that he's still learning about, and a reasonable slider. Am I that willing to pass on upside though? To basically drop down to grab Roberts. If I don't take Roberts, is he going to be there in the second round? I don't think so. I don't think Roberts is going to make it that far. I'm going to shortlist him real quick just so I don't forget his name. I should at least check see if there's a generational talent among the blue prospects here. Let's start with Brandon Tipler. I can see why my scout likes him. Absolutely not. He is a very dangerous kind of player because he has 3 decent tools, but he only has 1 major calling card, which is his home run power. If that doesn't develop, he's going to be a giant bust. And there's not really any middle ground. I'm not saying this isn't the kind of player we can't make something of, but I do think we'd be better off not risking it. Salvatore Espinosa. Potentially great stuff, movement and control. And an outstanding mix of pitches. None of them are actually bad. There's a lot of talent in this right arm. If he has a failing, I'm a little concerned about the lightness of his arm. I wish he threw harder. But I like him a lot. I think he's got a ton of potential. OSI thinks he's even better potentially, but he is very raw though. So the challenge of drafting someone like an Espinosa, of course, is going to be it's going to take him a while to get to the majors. But I like what I see here. I like a lot about Mr. Espinosa. I think he is entering the conversation here. Let's shortlist him too. Ricky Brown is a good hitter who happens to be a catcher. He is smart and adaptable. Oh, does Espinosa have any really positive traits? He's really adaptable. Brown is a maybe, but I think we can do better. You're literally a better character version of Brandon Tipler. Sal Avila is a concern to me. He's got a light fastball, and he only has 1 outstanding pitch, maybe. He could end up being a tremendous starter, and he's obviously smart because he's going to Duke, which is a great school. I don't think he's a good fit, though. I think there's too much risk here that he never achieves his upside. So I think we pass on Avila. Barrera is a bit more polished than the other first baseman we've seen here. I like his work ethic and his adaptability. I'm not taking him with the first overall pick, though. With our first round draft pick. Josh Davison is a really good catcher that might also hit. But he might also not hit. He's also got low adaptability. He's also a great leader. He's a maybe. I can flag Davison too. Alfredo Morales is a no. He's fine, but that's all he is fine. Xavier Roberson. He's a nice all-around player. Not a first-round pick material, though. I don't think. Victor McCain? Absolutely not. No. he is getting way too much credit for being left-handed. Because while he's got a good mix of pitches, his movement and control are going to severely suppress his ceiling. Because he's not going to be striking out people at that kind of ridiculous ratio in the major leagues. He just isn't. I think he's a hard pass. So the question is, do we take Khalil Roberts or do we take Salvatore Espinosa? Do we take the higher floor or the higher ceiling? I'm taking Espinosa. I know. He's a decent college pitcher, but I can't lose sight of the fact that we need great players to do with great talent. I think he's too good a player. He's too good to let pass up. So we're going to take Espinosa, even if I end up regretting it later. Oh, this is my supplemental pick. Damn it, Roberts went the pick right before this. That is disappointing. But I could get Josh Davison or Xavier Roberson. Do I want a player with no personality traits or one who has some good and some bad? You're also more of a risk offensively. I think I take Roberson. I think Roberson's the better choice of the two. By the way, if Contreras lasts to the second round, I'm taking him. Damn it. I shouldn't have said anything. I could take Barrera, and I'm definitely leaning in that direction. Let's look at some of these pictures. Let's look at Leo Lopez. Fastball, sinker, cutter, no breaking ball. He's fairly adaptable, and he's a big kid, which means he'll probably throw harder than we're looking at right now. But I don't like the fact he doesn't have a breaking ball. That does cause me serious concern. I'm going to pass on Lopez. Oh, no thank you to Jackson Dial. Ricky Brown is such a Pirates pick for me, and that he's a good hitter with no position. But even I can't take that kind of risk. I have my limits, I guess. I've consistently bet on upside, and I like his personality. So I think there's a better likelihood of him actually unlocking this level of offensive talent. I think I'm going to take Barrera. Alex Guerrero, that's a no from me, dog. Malik Hurst? I don't think so. There's a lot to like here, but there's also a lot not to like. He doesn't have great stamina. His movement is really questionable. And his pitch mix is decent, but not overwhelming. And it really concerns me that his best pitch is his fastball, but he has no movement, which means his fastball probably doesn't have much life on it. He's not going to be able to throw it past major league hitters. Thomas Mitterwallner. throws fairly hard, good stamina, great work ethic, good mixture of stuff, movement, and control. Doesn't have a breaking pitch. David Orozco. Really good movement because he's a side armor. Fastball, sinker, slider. I can't risk on a side armor. Can I create a filter? Probably not. But maybe? Oh, I just saw it actually. At school level is what I want. Here we go. Let's look as at least JUCO freshman. And I'm going to save this right now and call it college players. Here's the college starter. We have Ramon Loera. Cutter, curveball, changeup. Okay. Decent stuff in control. Bad movement. And mediocre stats against bad competition. I don't think so. Alex Alvarado. Nope, you're a stuff-only pitcher. Alex D'Alba. A pretty good stuff movement control mix. He plays for Baylor, which is an excellent university for sports. The risk with him is going to be that slider. If it develops, I think he's going to be an outstanding pitcher. If it doesn't, I'm really concerned. But I did commit to taking at least one college starter, so I think D'Alba is going to be that guy. Let me remove my filter. I'm going to take a risk on Bitter Wallner. I know he doesn't have a... I know he doesn't have a breaking pitch, but I'm hopeful he might develop one. Dave Orozco doesn't have very much stuff, which is weird for a player who throws as hard as he does, so no thank you. I can get behind Mike Birney as our 5th round draft pick. Eric Alvarez was deeply unimpressive against bad competition because he's a JUCO freshman. I see. Hey, Willie Bravo is going to be smart, so maybe he'll figure out how to throw harder. Because right now, he doesn't strike me as the most amazing prospect, but maybe he's alright. What is Alex Cloud's problem? Why does he keep falling? He's a side armor and a reliever that's not so bad. Decent, but not outstanding numbers across the board. Fastball splitter with no breaking ball. With the side armor, that splitter's gonna look nasty. I think I'm gonna take him. I think that's a smart move. Whenever you can take a man named Gurno Baumschlager, you have to do it. That's just how it works. He's actually a pretty talented hitter. I like what I'm seeing here a lot. And he's committed to a really good school. Yeah, I'm going to take him. Mostly because of the name, but also because he looks like genuinely a pretty interesting player. All right, what is our problem with Josh Brown? He's a bad pitcher. That's a good reason not to take him then. Stephen House, again, equally meh. I'm already fairly unimpressed. Let's look for some potential, and let's look for some diamonds in the rough. Dave, I choose you. There's something about players like a Jerry Escalante where he's very obviously has some flaws to his game, but even if his game is flawed, there's a lot to like here too. Like, he won't make too many mistakes. He's got decent speed, and he plays a competent third base. That has value, so I'm going to take Jerry Escalante. I feel pretty good about that choice. Let's look for some late round pitching magic. Is there anybody with at least 2 green numbers? There is not. Then we're going to take Josh Brown. I don't believe in him at all. But for the low price of $0, I'm willing to figure it out. There's very little to like about Mr. Castillo. And then there's the fact it doesn't cost me anything. But that is... Like, it's easier for a pitcher to learn control than to learn stuff. Are there any other good hitters left in this draft? Not really. I'll take a Ricky Robinson, though. Interesting. I will take Juan Salinas. Because he plays so many positions so well, he's got a future, potentially, of some shape or form. A really good defensive catcher is always a nice thing to have in your organization. I'll take that, if he's still around. Which he is not. That's on me. Let's look just at batters and see what might be there. I'll take Becerra. That's more than half the rounds of the draft. I think I feel pretty good about letting my scouting director take the rest of them. Let's instantly shortlist all of our higher draft picks. Okay, good. You're already there. You are. Anyone I'm paying a bonus to is interesting enough to be on my short list. All right, Espinosa. Let's get you to sign. Let's get you to sign. I like that we've gone below slot in a couple of places. That'll help us pay Mitter Wallner. Because I've got loads of money for free agent contracts. There's no reason not to sign him. It just costs me money. What's more than 8 million? You know what's more than 8 million? 10 million. And if he says no, then he says no. And I will accept that. I will accept my fate. Let's go up to the All-Star break. I feel pretty good about us having maybe 3 All-Stars. I think more than 3 is asking for too much, though. Okay, Alex D'Alba, because I want to push him somewhat hard. Oh, he literally already is in high A. Wait, really? You just shoved him all the way up to double A? Okay. Mike Iglesias has changed teams. He is now in Austin Inferno. Well, good for him. Alright, how many people from Pittsburgh? Any interesting names here? Not really. None of Pitt's pitchers. That's kind of surprising. Almaguer is your starting second baseman. Henry Salgado is your starting left fielder. And Jordan Munoz made it. So I was right on the number. I just didn't expect these particular 3. Really not one of my pitchers made it? I mean, my pitchers just might not be that good. But I'm a little surprised about that. But hey, Almaguer's first All-Star appearance, ones by Salgado and Munoz, are all very welcome. So I'm reasonably happy about that. Juan Love is a prospect all-star. And that's it. That's fine. Okay, we're going to flip to the trading deadline now. And then we'll probably make a couple of moves. I just don't know who yet. I need a big name starting pitcher. I'd feel a lot better about our chances in the postseason if we had one. A trade proposal. You would offer me the Ben Wynn? No. RJ Padilla. I probably should have given you a little bit more of a chance than I did. But you wanted to be a starter quite badly. And I let you go. Could I, though? Do I really need more? Oh my god, I could literally have him off of waivers. That's hilarious. Alright. So, what are we doing well at? Is there any position we need to fix in the main roster? We don't really. The lineup is pretty much from top to bottom really strong. Almaguer is continuing to hit at a pretty high level. Mike Soto's getting it done. If I wish there was a bit more to his game, what I'm getting from him is perfectly fine. I have no problems with Soto's performance. Henry Salgado is Henry Salgado. Sean Hill is still not heating up yet, which I'm beginning to find really disconcerting. He usually finds another gear, but he hasn't found it yet, and that does cause me some concerns. John Navio does not cause me any concerns. He has truly proven that he should have been given this job a little bit sooner, perhaps. He's playing at a very, very high level, and I think he's a critical piece of our success. Look, if Franklin Verdine is going to steal bases and hit singles and doubles and the odd triple and play pretty good defense, I'm going to live with that. That doesn't make him leadoff hitter. It doesn't make him a bad player either. Joe is fine. And Freddie Suarez has been a very nice surprise as a rookie shortstop. The bat in particular is an extremely nice surprise. I don't expect he'll hit 290 regularly, but so far, he's been a pretty big help to this team. You know what hasn't been? The starting pitching staff. We don't have any bad starters. We don't have any aces either. Julio Mifflin is fine. I've seen worse pitchers, for sure, but I've also seen better ones. Jesus Calderon is, once again, fine. Mike Grasham is a little bit more than fine. Grasham's having a pretty solid year. Avichan is pitching well in his starts. I'm pretty happy about that. If we take a quick look at his game log. Yeah, he's regularly throwing 6 innings. And he's mostly pitched quite well. He hasn't pitched, like, amazing for the most part, but he's pitched quite well. And Avichan has earned his spot in the rotation, at least for now, he has. Victor Rios has weirdly been the workhorse. From a guy that I was really, really concerned about giving a rotation spot to, those concerns are gone. But we lack top-level starting talent. And that is my biggest concern right now. I don't have a single starting pitcher that I would say, it's Game 7 of the World Series, I'm putting you in. So the question is it time for Juan Love? And if so, who does he replace? Mifflin seems like a really obvious candidate. And he's someone that's got a little bit of control. So he might be somebody that can get a decent return on. Unlike Mike Brinkman. I am going to trade Brinkman first and just see what might be on offer. But I just want prospects from him. I just want to get rid of him. I don't want him anymore. So for the right prospect, I will happily pull the trigger. I like you a lot, even if you are somewhat underwhelming. You're as good as anybody else being offered to me. Oh, there's a lot to be said about Morrow here. Let's take Morrow instead. I don't want to just trade with the Guardians because I'll get typecast. Okay, that's the easy trade done. I wasn't going to bring him back anyway, so that's fine. Can I let Mike Tinch walk? I guess it depends how much money he wants. He doesn't want more money. He actually wants slightly less. Let's do a vesting option. If you finish at least 40 games, then the second year kicks in. I'm not going to bring back Manny Pozo. I'm sure he'd probably come back for very little money, but I think his usefulness to his team is past. I'm not going to bring back Celaya. That would be stupid. I can offer him a minor league contract extension if he wants it, but I'm not going to give him a major league one. If I trade Mifflin, Love obviously gets the spot. I wonder if there is an elite starting pitcher on the market, though. Starters. There really isn't. I've had Leo Mendoza. He's fine. That's the nicest thing I can say about it. So there isn't a big name on the trade block, which is fine. Let me offer up Mifflin for starting pitching and see who comes back. Is there anyone that is desperate to get rid of an ugly contract? Victor Gomez is fine, but he's not as good as Sean Love. Or Juan Love. So, okay, we're going to just go to prospects then. And we're going to see who might be available. Really very little. If I'm not going to bring him back anyway, it doesn't make sense to keep him just for the sake of keeping him. Munoz is really good defensively. I feel like this has some value to it. I'm going to trade... No, I can't do it. I'd rather keep Mifflin and just put him in the pen. Yeah, Nuno sucks. Let's see what I can get for him. Al Dominguez is better than Nuno. Done. I'm going to put you on in AAA. Oh, you have to be on the 40-man. That's fine. Alright, so Love takes Mifflin's rotation spot, and Mifflin becomes an emergency starter long reliever. Actually, maybe I bench Calderon. You know, Mifflin has him more valuable than Calderon. Let's do that. That seems good. Why does Juan Love have no pitch count? I think that seems like a very bad idea. I'm going to give you a 100 pitch count. I don't want you pitching with no pitch count just yet. Let's go ahead and advance time. Okay, Fuji is making a really interesting case to actually get some reps as a starter, which would be really cool if we can pull that off. Because he's got a load of talent. I'm just concerned about his ability to keep it up, but I'm intrigued. Is Navio or Suarez the rookie of the month? It's Navio. Two weeks out for Rada. I guess let's bring Fuji back. And let him do some long relief, middle relief work. He's gonna miss a week. That's fine. We get Mike Tinch back. That's very good news. Nice work, Orlando. Orlando, you're 20 years old at this point. I need to get you out of rookie ball. So I'm going to send you up to high A. Give me my manager's office screen. Wait, free agent? Oh, he hasn't signed yet. Interesting. Let's take a super quick look at some of the people we have on lock and see if they might need promotions. Michael Broadwater, let's get you up into high A2. I need to see you guys actually getting more starts than you've been getting. That's pretty important for your future development. Okay, I'm gonna, just to play a little bit of roster shenanigans, I'm gonna go ahead and let Rada rehab in the minors, and then I'll call him up once rosters expand. Guys, I really wish you could put together a nice winning streak, just so we can put some distance between us and the Inferno. If you'd be so kind. Salgado, seriously stop. Other Salgado, keep it going. Almoquer might be slipping. Because I don't see his name among the NL leaders anymore in batting average. Oh dear. That's unfortunate. I kind of was hoping to bring him back on roster expansion because I do think he offers us something important. Um, I want another reliever for sure, so I think Juan Camacho gets that job. Omahor is still hitting pretty well, but he is starting to lose his on-base percentage too. The difference between him and Verdine is he has really good power, and so I still like him where he is. I could just swap him and Soto. Or bump Sean Hill up, because Sean Hill has elite on-base skills. Anyway, what do we do with our last roster spot? How much pop do we have off the bench right now? We have literally none. So I think it's time for Alex De Nuez to get some major league attention. I truly do. No. Really, you don't want to give De La Nunez even a pinch hitting role. Curious. Pozo, I wish you'd do the right thing and just retire. Or tell me you're going to retire. Like, as awesome as you've been for us for so many years, you're just done. You truly are just done at this point. Alright, that's our 28-man roster set. Let's go ahead and advance. Okay, Juan Love is postseason eligible, which is a very important thing that I wanted to know. Could you assholes please stop getting fucking suspended? Thanks. Oh man, I'm glad we're keeping it close against Charlotte. I certainly wouldn't want to get shelled. Oh, I'm surprised I never made the joke with the terrapins before. I apologize. I have failed you as a YouTuber and as a human being. Oh, that sucks. Oh, cool. Thanks for the injury, my friend. Really great fucking timing. So, the question is now who plays first base? And this is not a question I expected to have at this point in the season. I mean, I guess we could try Stovall at first base. Is there anyone on the current roster who actually would be really good as a first baseman? Ernesto Turner is actually trained as a first baseman. Let's go ahead and make it him. Oh, Manny Pozo is playing, still playing at first base. I completely forgot about that. All right, so Turner's going to play at first. We have really been getting some awfully shitty production from our bench, and I just haven't noticed, which is, not a great look for me, but I'd rather Turner play first. He seems like he's a pretty decent first baseman, but he's also a good hitter, and that may be what just has to happen now. Hey, 3 homers for Navio and 3 homers for Salgado. In the same game. Nice. I've clinched the playoffs already. I want to clinch the division. That's my goal. I want that early round bye. Like, it's not going to help Hill. Hill's not going to be ready for the postseason anytime soon. But I do just want us to have a nice bit of rest. And we've clinched it. Oh, that X feels mighty sweet right now. Mighty sweet indeed. Johnny Cerulli is still playing. I'll be damned. I would have figured he would have retired years ago. He's still hitting bombs. He's almost got 500 homers. I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think he deserves to be anywhere near the Hall of Fame. But that is still kind of cool that he's still playing at a fairly high level. 101 wins at least, possibly 102. I haven't seen how this last game went. Alright, my friends. Ooh, who got Mario Dickey? Why the hell are you? Oh, because I drafted you. And I traded you for Mike Brinkman. Ouch. That already looks like a bad deal. That's like record time. Yikes. You know what, Pozo? I appreciate it, my friend. And I think you're going to be in the Hall of Fame very, very soon. Jim Muller wants to go on to the Raleigh Anchors. I'll give you an extension. You seem like a perfectly cromulent coach. Alright, so I got that precious first round bye. Now let's make sure the playoff roster is the way I want it set. Presently, I have 11 players on the postseason roster. I think I want more than that. I need Ernesto Turner. That's a non-negotiable. I need him. And I'll have Osorio too. Can be a specialist. And Turner is just going to go right back where he was. I'm not going to leave Pozo off the postseason roster. He's meant too much to this team for too many years, but who's going to be in our rotation? Rios and Love for certain. They've got the most upside, and they've been two of our better pitchers. Probably Avishon would be the fourth man if we needed one. And I think Mifflin is the one left off the postseason. I'm going to favor Mifflin's experience and let Avishon go into the bullpen. I kind of hate it, but on the other hand, the fact is that whenever I'm stuck like that between two pitchers, I'm going to pick the pitcher that's had more success recently. All right. So we're going to play up to the next round. Colin Spear, you're a really good pitching coach, and a job just opened up. You might actually get promoted to Double A, but I'm going to take a moment and figure it out first. Okay, where is he? Oh, you're just a manager. I think you'd be much better as a pitching coach, though. So let's see. Im is good. He's hardly amazing, though. Basabe is quite decent. But I gotta admit, no, Barnes is clearly the best possible choice. Yeah, it's gotta be Barnes. No, it's going to be Basabe. And then Barnes is going to take low A. I wonder if... No, Colin Spear would definitely not. It would be considered a lateral move. Let's try to lock him up. Oh, I've got to promote you or you'll leave. Shit. I think I'm just going to have to let him leave. Like, I don't have a position I feel comfortable opening up. Like, I could fire Aldrey Acosta, but I don't think that's... Like, the chain reaction might be helpful there, but no, I think Mr. Spear is just going to have to find himself a new job. Yeah. Okay, let's play until the next round and see whom I shall be facing. Here we go. Love gets lit up. We get back into it. All right. If we win game 4, then I will sim game 5. Or then I will play out game 5. And we did win it. We did win it. And it's old pal Corey McLaughlin. And we're going to sim a couple of days. Let's do it, friends. Okay. This is a time for you to make your mark, my friend. Show that you belong in the bigs. No pressure. Oh, you guys aren't hearing sound because my headphones are off. Give me a second. And let me do... Okay. Alright, now there should be audio. Sorry about that. Nice. A strikeout with a curveball. That's a really bad location for that pitch, but I'm not that annoyed by it. Just please don't do that again. An excellent first inning. I approve. Let's see what Almahuer can do. He can do nothing. Mike Soto put a charge into that one. Damn, Soto. Way to be. I mean, he caught it with, like, his stomach, which is pretty cool. That's kind of neat. That's alright. We're up 1-0. That's a good start. That is a much better curveball, my friend. Still a little bit too high. I don't like where you're spotting this, but I'm not going to argue with your results. Now that's where you spot your curveball. We should use your other pitches too, though. I don't want them to start figuring it out. Up, a leadoff, a walk. That's fine. Tony Barrios is a pretty scary dude. Uh-oh. Okay. Good play, Verdine. Good play. A nice little single for John Navio. I approve. And then Turner hits into a double play. Not cool, dude. And there we go. Good work by Salgado. Okay, he's losing the handle a little bit. And it looks like he is getting a little bit tired. Oh, really, dude? Guys, don't make mistakes. This is how big innings happen. Whew. Guys, if you would be just amazing people and get us another run or two, I'd feel really a whole lot better right now. Please. Please. Yeah, that's a double. I'll take it. Come on, Soto. You're the hero of the game so far. That's not what heroes do. Damn it. Okay. Come on, guys. My big time hitters are not contributing yet. They're all just getting weak contact. Like, I know he's got really good movement and he's a ground ball pitcher. I get it, but still. Hey, don't be hitting fucking Navio. That's a dick move. And another weak ground ball from Turner. Oh no, 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 no. Damn it! Damn it. I don't really want to send the kid out there to take the 6th, so I think I'm going to warm someone up. Who is coming up for you? It's righty, lefty, righty. Let's warm up. Let's warm up Avishon. No, let's not. Avishon's going to be the 5th starter. I'm going to need him if we do win this game. Calderon. I'll warm you up instead. One thing I need to do, I need to take these hitters that are really good at drawing walks and actually tell them to draw walks, because right now we're just burning through at-bats way too quickly. Oh my god. So many weak ground balls. Come on, guys. Alright, Love, I'm going to give you a chance to do well, but if you allow any base runner whatsoever, you're coming out of the game. He didn't make a running catch. He made a, like, walking catch. Okay, you know what, Love? This was a really good game. I'm pulling you out. It is the 7th inning, though, so I can use... Let's warm up... oh, who's coming up here? A bunch of switch hitters. So it doesn't really... Sorry, we're the left-hander. Let's warm up Osorio. 2. Almaguer, you're here to swing away. And apparently flail wildly. Alright, I'm going to order you to take some fucking pitches. We need to make this starter work and get into their pen. And Soto's got really a pretty decent batting eye, so you should be able to work him into a decent count. Wow. He's just spotting his pitches at this point. He did eventually get a walk, though. Alright, let's make him work, guys. Make him work. Mike Soto is not a base stealer. Stay put, my dude. Okay, 3-1. I'm going to turn you loose, Salgado. To hit into a double play. What the fuck, dude? Alright, let's bring in Osorio. Because Gabe White is much better against right-handed pitching than he is against lefties. Good job, Osorio. Very good. All right, Osorio is done. I'm going to sit down Calderon, and we're going to get Julian warmed up. We just cannot make solid contact on him. I don't know what his fucking trickery is, but he is doing a really good job of keeping the ball low. Like, he's pitching like an ace, and which is not what I expected based on his actual talent level. Oh, don't you dare. Motherfucker, Julian. That was a good pitch. I'm not even mad at you, but I needed you to be at your very best, and you just gave up a second homer, didn't you? No, you didn't. You got under that one. You sure like your fly balls, my friend. You sure like giving up fly balls. That's a hit. And we struck out Nostok. Alright, we got their starter out of the game. I'm not sure whether that's better or worse, but I'm going to live with it either way. Get warmed up, Tinch. Yeah, for Dean, I need you to get on base, please. I know it's not your best skill, but I need you to get on base. And you did. Alright. We got to make something happen here. Who is my best person to put the ball in play? Singlis has a lefty on the mound. Okay. I'm going to put in Manny Pozo. As a pinch hitter, and then we're going to let Servine finish the game at catcher. Okay, I want to hit and run. I want you to make contact with this pitch. Hit and run. Quit fucking fouling it off. Just swing away. Really? What is with this team and their weak-ass contact? Steal second. Really? Oh my god. Nothing is going well for us this game other than that one home run. Come on. Somebody do something, please. No! Bring in Servine to be the catcher. Nice play by Salgado. Alright, team. We got 2 through 4 up. We gotta make some noise here. Take pitches. Get on base, Soto. That is your job. Yeah, he's got really good control here. And that's an out. Look, weak contact. That's the fucking Pittsburgh Pirates. That's the promise. Salgado, I want you to swing away really badly, but you've hit really badly this entire series. So I'm going to try to work you into a hitter's count. Or you can just strike out. This is fucking unacceptable, Salgado. I hope you have a very hard think about what you've accomplished in the postseason. And we're done. Fuck the Cardinals. Right fucking there, dude. Right fucking there. What the hell is wrong with you, Salgado? One fucking hit in 19 at-bats. Like, players like Almaguer being a little bit off is fine. You are the heart and soul of this offense, and you shit the bed. Verdine wasn't much better, but let's be realistic. If Henry Salgado is not hitting, the Pirates are not hitting. And I don't want to hear about how the pitching let us down either. We got great pitching performances in back-to-back games. Julien made one mistake, and unfortunately that's the only mistake he was allowed to make. We were not making contact at all with any pitches. Even a little bit. So yeah. That was bullshit. Maybe you start, like, benching Salgado every now and again. Like, maybe he got tired. Okay, Aldria Costa retired. I'm going to promote Hayden Jones to AAA. I'm going to leapfrog Solomon McGuire into AA over Miles. Not that I think Miles is incredibly talented, but because I'm not even convinced he's a great manager, and I want him to get more experience before I pressure him into doing something more challenging. Robert Gutierrez is nothing to write home about. Josh Dameron is a pitching coach. But so is Craig Barnes. Okay, Kirby Camacho could be a pretty decent manager. I'm going to go ahead and make him my low-A manager for now. Okay, so I need a new pitching coach for the Rookie League. Coach ratings, teach pitching, David Erickson, please. Pardon me. Pardon me. And then Christopher Marte. You can get that roll. I mean, let me be clear. Juan Love had a bit of a coming out party. And yes, he did give up a homer, but that was the only hit he gave up in his 6 innings. I wanted to stretch a little bit farther, but I don't hate it at all. 200 grand. To get a great coach, I will always pay extra. Marte signs. Erickson is still thinking about it. Oh boy, Sean Hill is back. You probably would have been useful in the fucking playoffs. Maybe. And excellent. That's all of my minor league coaches signed. I'm still not sure who's going to get promoted, if anybody, to fill the spot of Soto. But I definitely need somebody that's personable if I can accomplish that feat. That we might need to go outside the organization. And I lost Andres Melendez. That's awkward. Who is the best hitting coach in rookie ball? Juan Sosa is a really good manager. He's not necessarily a traditional hitting coach, but he's a really good manager. None of them actually are, believe it or not. Dameron's really a pitching coach. Gutierrez is a mediocre pitching coach. And so is the other Gutierrez. Let's get Sam Baltz to be our new A-ball hitting coach. I mean, this is good something to do while the Cardinals rampage, like the jerks they are. That's cool. And you're seeing posted players. Not really. No. 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 No thanks. No. Like, a guy like Kumagai might be helpful if I really needed him, but I don't. So I ain't gonna bother. I hate to be too cruel to one player, but really, Henry Salgado's got to come through in those moments, and he wilted in the playoffs. Like, that was a wilting. That was almost utter disintegration. Like, it's not because he was even drawing walks to get on base. He was just not playing well at all. And that is a real issue. We're not going to be a very successful team in the playoffs if we don't get great hitting from our best hitters. All right. Do we keep Mike Gresham's team option? I think yes. Gresham clearly had a very strong season. There's no obvious red flags yet. Like, he is losing a little bit off his fastball, but it's not an unsustainable amount. I think one more season is very reasonable. So, Mr. Gresham, I shall execute your option here. We retired number 10 for Manny Pozo because of course we do. Fan loyalty is up to very good. I mean, nice. If Manny Pozo isn't a Hall of Famer, I don't know what a Hall of Famer is. I truly do not know. He'll be eligible this year because he made the changes, so we'll have to see what happens there. Soda decided to retire. So did Hayden Jones. Quit fucking retiring after I promote you or give you a job. Like, that's not very cool of you, dude. Alright. Who did I have as actually circuit like a brilliant manager? Yeah, you're a really good manager. Is Juan Sosa. I'm going to promote Charlie Miles, and then I'm going to promote Juan Sosa to being a manager. Because I think he's got a lot of potential. Potentially. Get it? Okay. So I need a new pitching coach. For rookie ball. Hi, Alex Salazar. Ooh, give me some Nate Swenson action. I love me a great young pitching coach. Well, I needed 2 hitting coaches. Clearly I'm going to take Gabe Zajac if he'll accept it. And then for the other rookie team, Edgar Trujillo. Alright, I want somebody, ideally, that is both a very competent coach, but also good for our chemistry. I could really use somebody personable. So let's go to the hiring phase. Let's quickly filter for personable. And I want somebody who's just good at everything, ideally. And E.J. Andrews seems like that kind of guy. Then again, Dan Armstrong has the benefit of being really good at teaching these different positions. So I think we're going to go with Dan Armstrong. We're going to offer you a job as our third base coach. Alright. Salary arbitration. Julio Mifflin wants $10 million. I don't think you're worth $10 million. I genuinely don't. I'm going to non-tender you. And maybe even trade you. But I will make that decision next episode. Matt Hawkins, I think it's time to non-tender you again. I really needed a better bench bat, and I didn't have one. So I'm going to non-tender you. Joe, 2.4 WAR is worthy of $5 million. I'm not giving you that big a contract. I am not. I'm not saying you wouldn't necessarily be worth it, but I really want to make sure that that you keep producing before I give you that kind of money. I'll offer Celaya a minor league deal. Oh, he can't take one. Makes up people go. Yeah, it just seems like a guy like Hawkins is more trouble than he's worth, quite frankly. We've had some good times with him, but I just think he's not a great fit. Especially when I have other players like an Ernesto Turner that probably need to get regular playing time. So let's talk about what went well and what didn't go well. Let's begin with the offense. Henry Salgado was once again the best hitter on our team. I kind of miss him hitting an elite number of homers. He seems like he's lost a little bit of his pop, but he's still producing at a fairly high level. Yes, he's making a lot of money, but so far he's been earning it. Remember, $8 million per win. He basically could be making as much as $40 million right now. Jordan Munoz took his first year being a full-time DH and was incredible. No notes, really nothing to add to Mr. Munoz. Freddie Suarez might well get some Rookie of the Year consideration, unless he's not eligible anymore. I don't think he is. I don't think he is eligible for Rookie of the Year. Otherwise, I think he'd have a chance at it. He still might go home with some hardware. He had a great defensive season, so he might win a Gold Glove, even if he doesn't get Rookie of the Year. Almaguer. The man hits baseballs and plays good defense. I'm very happy to have him as our second baseman. John Navio. I did not expect him to fill a big role on this team when the season started. He's going to be filling a big role for seasons to come now. He's just that bloody good. So we found our next great hitter, and it's John Navio. Mike Soto turned in a very solid season. Is it as good as I would have hoped? Not quite. Was it a bad season? No. If this is what I get out of third base, I will be more than happy. He is a bit lacking defensively. He makes up quite a few errors, which does concern me. It's not necessarily a given that he'll stay at third base forever, especially when he's actually a pretty decent first baseman. But I'm willing to let him work at it. I'm really willing to let him work at that, and I do think the bat is there. I do think the bat is respectable. Franklin Verdeen's bat cooled off a little bit, and that failed stolen base was problematic. He's always going to be an interesting player, though. Because of his skill set, a lot of his pop is going to come from hitting triples. If he's not hitting multi-digit triples, he's going to look like a worse player, even though he actually isn't. But I'm so very happy with what he provided, and he too might be coming away with some gold and a Gold Glove. Sean Hill missed a fair bit of time, but more importantly, never really got started this season. That is deeply concerning to me, especially because he just got that giant contract. That really worries me. And our bench, once again, I don't think I pay enough attention to it. That's a real problem for me. We've got to fix it. Because when I needed a big bat off the bench, I didn't have one. And I just have this habit of just letting the same players stay on the bench without really evaluating that. I need to do better at that. The bench has to be an area that we invest in. We've got to get some pop off the bench. I can't just play for defense. Rahelia Aguinaga was awful. I'm not convinced there isn't still a good player in there somewhere, but he was incredibly underwhelming in virtually all facets of his game. He could be a good bench bat, but right now he is not. And so we've got to get... It's not the star. The stars could be playing better. Henry Salgado in particular, we know he's got another gear that he isn't reaching. And we've got to get more out of Sean Hill. Those two things are inescapable. John Navio with a full season might be truly terrifying, which is great. And I still think Mike Soto has an extra gear too. But the fact, 24 double plays. What the fuck, dude? Why? What is it about you that gives you so many double plays? I don't know. That's really weird. Have you always been that bad at that? You are exceptionally bad this season. You're not a great base runner. Whatever. You are a really productive player, so I don't mind that much. But I need more. I need extra gears out of certain players. And I do think it's going to help us out a lot. And what's going to stop disappearing? Salgado in the playoffs. Salgado. If we quickly take a look at his performance in the postseason, he has been pretty terrible, other than 2059, where his home runs came in a lot very handy, and look at that. Actually, the year is really great with the bat is the year we actually won the World Series. But yeah, we have enough postseason at bats to know that he has not been a great postseason player. We've been bounced out of the first round a lot lately, so I'm not hugely upset about it, but I do think there's a lot more here that he could be doing. This is a man that can take over a series, and the fact that he hasn't yet is really disappointing to me. Do better, my friend. Do better. Would we have been better if Sean Hill had made the roster? I genuinely don't know. I genuinely do not know that. Obviously, more offense in the lineup is just better, and that leaves us Ernesto Turner as an incredibly valuable bench bat. But I do think Turner is going to get a role on this team in some way next season. I keep giving up on him a little bit too quickly every season, and I think I'm doing him a disservice. We can always use more pop off the bench. He's a hard worker. He's got a well-rounded offensive skill set. I think he's going to make the roster next season. Possibly just as Sean Hill's platoon partner, but also probably to fill in and play in the outfield when we need him to. Let's talk pitching. Our two best starters, Victor Rios and Mike Grasham. Victor Rios, he was simply brilliant. And I know we didn't have a true ace this season, but Victor Rios was damn close. And this is making me kick myself a little bit for not having given him that chance before. For now, I will take having an above-average starting pitcher for very little money. Mike Grasham, a nice bounce-back season. He again was really solid. Julio Mifflin, he's gone at this point. He's just not meeting my expectations, and so that's going to be an issue. Abishan has clearly pitched his way into a bigger role next season, as has Juan Love. In 11 Major League starts, he already earned 1.5 WAR. That's really good. And he still has even more to show, so I'm excited to see how he turns out as an everyday starting pitcher. Manny Osorio has to be better than this. I don't know what his problem is. Okay, yes, he gave up home runs like crazy. That needs to get fixed. Okay, fine. But still, we should be able to expect more out of him than that. But we come into the same issue we did at the beginning of last offseason, right? I said we don't have an ace. I think we have one now in Juan Love, but I also don't want to push him either. He's only got 60 innings in the major leagues. And while he's been fairly durable in the minors, he's gone over the century mark last season, and he did this season, counting the majors and the minors. I don't want to pressure him. I want him to be a great pitcher for years to come. So we're going to pump the brakes on him a bit. Abishan, I'm going to turn you loose. I need you to be a rock, and I think you can be. So you're going to get your opportunity next season to be an everyday starting pitcher. Jesus Calderon, I don't know what to do with you anymore. I truly do not know. So we're going to replace Mifflin with Abishan. Well, actually, we don't need to replace him with Abishan because we have Abishan a spot for him already when we have a 5-man rotation. If we could get a true ace, and I keep saying this, but it remains the secret between us being a good team and a great team. If we can get a really dominating starting pitcher, it's going to be the world to us. I could use a little bit better bullpen. I think what we got out of the bullpen was fine, but I do think I'd like to see a little bit more. Maybe it's just Manny Osorio learning how to keep the fucking ball down, because that would have been tremendous. But regardless, I think we could use another quality arm in the pen. Justin Tufts, I don't want this lost in a season that ended in disappointment. He got thrown in the deep end and he thrived. Justin Tufts is going to see a bigger role, I think, in the bullpen. Because he was great. He was truly excellent. He was there when we needed him. He's going to get a bigger role in the future. Wynton Julian has done a really great job too, though. Good stuff all around. I can't think of any specific position that is up for grabs next season. Maybe third base, but also maybe not third base. I think what Mike Soto gave us is very strong, and I don't want to give up on him too early. I might have done it with Manny Pozo after all. I mean, Manny Pozo's first couple seasons were good but not great. I don't have too many notes for him other than I wish you were a better third baseman. That's a lot of errors. But he might improve with more regular reps at third. This may well be the exact same opening day lineup that we have next season. And with the possibility of Sean Hill back at first base. And if that's the case, I think we're still going to be incredibly competitive. We need a better bench, and we need a top-flight starting pitcher. If we can get those two things, I mean, again, we won 101 games. We were hardly a bad team. But I think that depth that we don't have right now is really being tested. And it may just be the secret to a better bench is just leveraging the players we already have more efficiently. I don't know. What I do know is that I thank you very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series. If you have enjoyed the series, please consider giving a like to the channel, subscribe to the channel for more outdoor baseball content every Monday and Friday. And until next time, this has been Ev Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.